Hey baseball players, Coach Garner from baseballtraining.com here. In this video, we're going to talk about the most important strategies you can use to put on some weight and gain some lean muscle mass. I know a lot of you guys out there have trouble putting on weight. This is a solution to that. First and foremost, it's no mistake that I'm putting calories all the way at the top. There is simply no getting around the calories in versus calories out equation. Calories in representing the amount of food that you're taking in per day, and calories out representing your physical energy expenditure and your own personal metabolism each and every single day. Your calories in via food need to be greater than your calories out via physical energy expenditure every day if you're going to be able to put on any weight. You have to win that equation. Where a lot of guys run into problems, as I say, I know, Coach Garner, I know, but I eat so much and I just can't gain weight. Well, here are some sneaky little tricks to get more calories in while still providing the same amount of fullness so you don't feel stuffed all the time or feel stuffed out there on the baseball diamond. Trick number one is calorie density. Foods vary in how many calories they have per unit of size dramatically. You want to choose foods that have a lot of calories in them in a very small place. Some of the best foods for this are raw nuts and dried fruit. And an excellent strategy to incorporate is to fill a jar with raw nuts and dried fruit and put it in a place that you normally frequent. You always on the computer all the time? Then have raw nuts and dried fruit by the computer. Grab a handful whenever you want. You always on the road? Keep it in the car. You in the dugout? Keep it in the dugout. You have it at school? Keep it at school. Keep the jar wherever you're at and have calorie-dense foods so that you have less feelings of fullness, but a lot more bang for your buck as far as winning the calories in side of the equation goes. Strategy number two is volume. So similar to how we want calorie-dense foods, we don't want to choose foods that are very high in volume. So for example, if we're choosing carbohydrates, 1 cup of rice is about 45 grams of carbs approximately. But 1 apple is only about 20 to 25 grams of carbs. I know myself and everybody else watching this can eat 1 cup of rice like it's absolutely nothing. But eating 2 apples back to back is not going to be the easiest thing to do. That's a lot of chewing, that's a lot of volume, and that's a lot of fullness. You're going to be bloated if you crush 2 apples back to back. So you want food that packs in more carbs, more fat, more protein into a smaller volume than other foods. So rice and olive oil are excellent examples here, as rice, as you can see, is a lot better than, say, an apple as far as choosing your carbs go, or even worse, watermelon, which only contains 7 grams of carbs per 4 ounces. Very, very low carb food. Olive oil is another phenomenal option that I've used many times in my practice to add weight to people. What you can do is simply put a teaspoon of olive oil over your meals after you've cooked them. Teaspoon of olive oil on the meals, you're going to be adding, a tablespoon of olive oil on your meals after you cook them. You're going to be adding about 150 calories every single time, and you're not even going to notice it. It doesn't sit in your gut. It's an oil. There's no fibers. There's no texture to it. You just eat it, and you get way more calories in, and you're following the rule of volume. Number 3, your food composition. What is your food made up of? A lot of baseball players look to gain weight, but then eat things like chicken breast and tuna all the time. There's 0 grams of fat, 0 carbohydrates, and exclusively protein in these foods. Is that a bad thing? No. But is it a wise idea if you're trying to gain weight, to choose the lowest calorie possible protein options as you can? That's probably not the smartest idea. When we're looking at composition of food, we want to choose foods that serve our goals of gaining weight as opposed to choosing foods that only provide us protein. So things like steak or ground beef contain way more calories per serving than chicken breast or tuna. Same with chicken thighs. Let's go with chicken thighs instead of chicken breast so we get more fat in it, because you're still going to have, say, a 4 to 6 ounce serving, but one of them is going to provide you way more calories than the other. Be conscious of your composition and choose the right foods that actually match your goals and aren't just clean foods. Number 4, the reward pathway. So this is a very complex conversation involving certain chemical signaling pathways that happen in our brain that give us the feeling of reward. You have chocolate, you have ice cream, these things send reward pathways to our brain that says, yes, these things are good. But if we have bland food, then those reward pathways aren't activated. Why do we care about reward? Reward's also going to stimulate appetite. How about chips? I bet you can't just eat one, right? That's stimulating the reward, and before you know it, you've crushed about 2,000 calories of chips sitting there on the couch watching TV. We want to choose foods that activate the reward pathway. So to gain weight, are we going to choose chicken breast, broccoli, and oatmeal to get our protein and carbs in? Or should we have steak, potatoes, and butter to get our protein and carbs in? Steak, potatoes, and butter not only is going to provide you way more calories than the first option, but it's also going to taste better, activate your reward pathways, and influence you to ultimately eat more in the meal and by the end of the day. Use these 4 strategies to help you put on weight, guys. It always comes down to calories at the end of the day. This is the way to sneak in more. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.